The Oracle of Luna is a podcast with me, Bridget Engels, as your host. Here we have conversations with real live, present-day goddesses who are actively and courageously doing their magical work in the world. Each episode is a bewitching journey with relevant discussions on topics such as Wiccan pagan spirituality, writing, culture, magical practices, art, ritual, and the craft in its many forms.
Merry meet! Welcome to another episode of the Oracle of Luna podcast. I'm Bridget Engels, your host, and today I'm so excited to chat with Flora Ware. Flora is a ceremonial priestess, pagan songstress, founder of EarthSong Temple, and vocal coach. She serves the global community through ceremonies, singing circles, and earth magic. As a ceremonial priestess and sacred musician, Flora inspires women to embody their power and to awaken the goddess within. As a vocal coach, she mentors ceremonial leaders to elevate their events through music. Her newest album, The Center of the Pentacle, celebrates the goddess, Lunar Magick, and the divine feminine. Flora believes that our voices are magical instruments for healing, manifestation, and transformation. Stay tuned to the end. Flora gives us a goddess chant. Welcome, Flora!
Hello, Bridget. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I'm so happy you're here. So how's your day going?
My day is going very well so far, thanks. How are you?
Good. It's actually raining here in Las Vegas, so I am so happy. It's a beautiful sound to hear the rain tapping on the ground, and so it's just wonderful. Clears the air too.
Definitely. Nice.
So, are you ready to get rolling here?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I always ask my guests on my show, how did your journey with the goddess begin, or magic and paganism? What did that look like for you?
For me, it was a pretty distinct moment where I attended my first full moon women's circle in 1993. And I
Yay.
would have been, yeah, I would have been about 14 or almost 15 at that time. And my mother brought me, and it was mostly women her age. And it was something that was so beautiful, so ancient, as we just sat in a circle around the fire and we shared stories and sang songs, and some of them had drums, and that was it. It was like, wow, that really turned a lot around for me in that one moment.
That's wonderful that your mother introduced you to the divine feminine in that way.
And then, different inspirations started coming along. For example, the Spiral Dance, Starhawk's seminal book, basically coming into my path, right? And being
Yeah.
introduced through the Reclamation tradition, and seeing the circular wheel of the year, the Celtic wheel of the year calendar, and seeing that circular calendar, and it was like in my brain something clicked, and it just made so much sense.
Where did you grow up, in Canada or the US or
British Columbia, Canada. It's on the west.
BC?
Yeah.
Yes, I've been to Vancouver, BC. Did you go to attend college there or?
I did actually go to college in Vancouver, and at that point I had chosen to focus both on theater acting, but then really ended up focusing on music,
Mm.
and was developing my skills as a singer, which had started with some private lessons when I was a teenager, but um, it was I got enchanted by jazz, let's just
Oh,
say, and the program that I went to was a jazz and contemporary voice diploma program, and so I was really exploring the full range and all the palette. We call it like artists, like the palette of all the different textures of my voice through
Hmm.
jazz at that time, in my early 20s. And yeah, it was a really rich starting point for my vocal journey.
Yeah, that's a great foundation for later. I'm sure your voice and your singing, your music has changed styles.
Most definitely, yeah. I soon after that, graduating about a year after that, was when I was introduced to sound healing and specifically vocal sound healing. And then again, that was another pivotal moment in my life and my spiritual journey where it's like, right, everything clicked again. It's like my voice isn't just for entertainment. My voice is a sacred tool that I have at my, have to as part of my sacred practice and my own rituals. And so then I really went into an even deeper journey since then. This is now like more than 20 years ago for me.
Hmm. So how did you start to weave your sacred feminine wisdom into your music and singing? How did that evolve and develop?
Yeah. It was an interesting returning because, like I said, I had been introduced to the women's circles when I was a young teenager,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we sang these songs, and I loved singing those chants and harmonizing with those circle chants. And then, like I said, I went off on a really big discovery of my voice and testing my capabilities and learning opera and learning jazz and learning musical theater and all that kind of stuff. So then to come back when I was vocal sound healing, it really was again like a returning of, oh, right, this is the roots of how I love to use my voice. And so really the sacred feminine was always there in music for me.
Hmm.
Was
Yeah.
really always there. And so it's really been an intuitive journey as well as just always learning new songs. Like I love going to circles and having women share songs they know, chants they know, and so it's like picking up different songs and chants in sacred circles wherever I go.
Hmm. And did you develop a circle or a coven of your own or some kind of singing circle?
Yes, well, what happened really was that I had been doing a lot of this work more casually or definitely like, f free of charge, freely given, right? I had started teaching some voice workshops like specifically around chakra toning.
Hmm.
Again, being in that vocal sound healing, so like toning through the different chakras. So I started teaching those workshops in back in 2002, 2003. But as far as other spiritual work or a coven or a circle, and it was all more casual. And it really wasn't until after I got married and became a mother, and at that point had really stepped back from music. Like I had consciously retired from trying to be an musician, be a professional indie musician, and then music wouldn't let me go.
Yeah.
And so and so my son was about 2.5, and I really got a kick in the pants from the goddess and just from my own of really what do I want to make out of my life. And so I started an online business in 2016. And my first early offerings were around the Wheel of the Year, which always included singing and chanting with the Wheel of the Year ceremonies, and then goddess archetypes through the chakras. Like
Ah.
I was, really bringing, some of the foundations of my practice and my work forward. And so from that, I feel very fortunate and very blessed to say that I have run my online sacred business since 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, as we were chatting earlier, I've been receiving your EarthSong Temple newsletters for quite a while, and I just really have been struck by the amount of circles you lead and the consistency. So That's awesome. That's amazing. And one of these days I want to attend, but I wanted to ask you, what is the EarthSong Temple exactly, and what happens there? Are they just basically rituals, wheel the year, the Sabbats online or in person, or can you tell us a little bit about the EarthSong Temple?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is all online. EarthSong Temple is a global online community that is connected through a shared love of the turning seasons, that love to come together to celebrate what is known as the Celtic Wheel of the Year, or the Neo-Pagan Wheel of the Year, which is the eight celebrations that happen at different times. So
Right.
um, the 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 ceremonies have evolved in that for many years it was just me. I was the only one leading them, and which was beautiful, and I loved that. And we would meet on Zoom, and and of course there was a bit of a boom during the initial lockdown and the pandemic of like
Hmm.
2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there was a lot of Zoom fatigue. So I noticed that then going into 2022, 2023, maybe they didn't feel quite as well attended. And then in the last 2 years, it's been like we kind of I think there's just been a recalibration, and now they're more well attended than ever before, and I feel really grateful. And I have volunteers that assist these ceremonies, so it's not just me anymore. For the last
Good. Yeah.
yeah, the last 3 or 4 years, there's been more voices, more support, and just more magic being co-created. Um,
Mm.
and also EarthSong Temple is for all genders, because
Hmm.
Earth Magic is for everyone, and that was a big shift in how I was offering my work. That started happening about two and a half, 3 years ago, and I realized I've been solely wanting to serve women, saying that I'm only serving women through these different offerings, and I got to a point where I was like, why?
Yeah. Why not open it up? Sure.
Like, wait a minute. I don't know that this is actually for the highest good of all.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happens in these ceremonies? Do the participants sing? Is it kind of a singing kind of a ritual, or is it a
Hmm.
ritual with some songs and chants? I'm just very curious.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm really glad you're asking that, because that's an important distinction. Because I host singing circles,
Yeah, right.
which are only singing circles. The Wheel of the Year ceremonies, like for example, we just had Samhain, which is
Mm-hmm.
also known as Halloween, and it's a beautiful ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's in those there's always a guided journey meditation.
Mm-hmm.
There's some kind of ritual and embodiment, and then yes, there might be an opening chant or a closing chant, but singing isn't the only focus of that. It is
Mm-hmm.
really a community ritual ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
and also a celebration. We're
Yeah.
always celebrating the turning of the wheel and the changing seasons.
Yes. Wonderful. It's always, for me, it's always heartwarming to hear of others that are creating and sustaining community through ritual and ceremony. So thank you for doing that. I love it. So song priestesses have been historically throughout the ages an important role in ancient ceremonies as well as contemporary ceremonies and rituals. What do you feel like is your role as a song priestess, and what does this role entail for you?
Mm, I love this question. Thank you, Bridget. And also for bringing in that historical context that
Yeah.
the song priestesses, the bards, have been part of our spiritual practices since the dawn of time. Early humans, really even into the Paleolithic, way back into the Paleolithic era, we understood that music, specifically drums, and our voices, and as well as dancing, were all methods to connect us to a divine energy,
Yes.
and also to foster a community connection between the tribes, right?
Yeah.
And so the role of the song priestess is to utilize sound, voice, musical instruments, whatever methods are the of a particular song priestess. Like for me, it's definitely voice
Yeah.
and percussion, and I'm learning shruti box, and I do play other instruments. But
Mm.
for those, for those, these are mine. And for some of another song priestess, it could be the crystal singing bowls.
Yeah.
For another song priestess, it could be very much percussion and drums and rattles. Like there isn't one way, but it's the
Sure.
song priestess knows the power of sound and music to create coherence in a ritual sacred space and to utilize that for the participants' experience. Creating those altered states and creating those feelings of connection to the divine as it moves through us. And so like I said earlier, it's when we use our voices in this way, if you are a singer and you're maybe hearing this and you're realizing, I think I'm a song priestess, or maybe your body is vibrating and you're thinking, this is calling you, it's not entertainment. It
Right.
is using our voice as a sacred tool, a sacred
Mhm.
instrument in particular moments to elevate what's
Mhm.
happening in the ceremony.
Yes, and it's a lot of from my perspective, voice and chants can be used for group cohesion, functionality, and to bring everybody together and to create altered, mind spaces. And
Yes.
also, I just want to point out that harmony, I believe, is so emotionally healing. There's something about harmony within a circle of people with different types of voices and coming all together in song. There's something so healing about that. Can you talk
Hmm.
about healing?
Hmm. You're so right. And that is because it's vibrations. This is vibrational healing. Sound is it's a sound wave. And bring your own voice into that wave of vibration with others, you become part of that whole field that's being created through sound. And
Hmm.
when a group is intentionally harmonizing, you are receiving those harmonic tones, body, mind, and soul. So
Hmm.
of course it feels so good.
Yeah.
That is the foundation of vibrational healing or sound healing, attunement to harmonious frequencies.
Psychologically healing, I think, so much. And also, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the singing circles. When you're leading a singing circle online, are you starting the chant and then others chime in and how does that work?
Oh yeah, well, with the limitations of Zoom, no,
Yeah.
my everyone stays muted except for me. And
Mm.
so unless I'm doing a specific kind of exercise where we can take turns and kind of pass the sound, which I have done before, it usually works better when it's really like yeah, one way. So it gives a wonderful opportunity for people who are a little more shy and are perhaps at the beginning of their vocal
Yeah.
exploration journey to make it something safe that they do in their own space and
Okay.
in their own home.
Yeah.
And that's one of the advantages of the online singing circle.
Hmm.
Not to mention that it's fun to have people come from all over the world, like Europe
Yeah.
and all across North America. That's always really fun too. But
Hmm.
there is limited interaction with others unmuting, unfortunately. But no one seems to complain. These have been going strong since 2021,
Mm.
and it really is like a voice ritual,
Yeah.
sound healing every month, and
Oh,
learning.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
that. I do want to ask you about your newest album and what inspired you to create it. The center of the Pentacle. I was listening to a little bit of it on Pandora yesterday at work, and so beautiful and so powerful. Can you talk a little bit about your newest album?
Yeah, thank you, Bridget. It really, in some ways, was the counterpoint response to my 2020 album, Songs for the Wheel of the Year,
Mhm.
which are exactly as titled, Songs for the Wheel of the Year. So it's eight chants. And because that's the sun wheel, the sun festivals, it really felt to me that there was, I really am a moon witch and I have a strong lunar
Yeah,
practice.
me
So
too.
it was just that counterpoint lunar, little more divine feminine goddess response to
Mm.
to my earlier album. So there's a new moon chant, a full moon chant, quite a few goddess chants on there, and that's what Center of the Pentacle is all about.
It's just stunning, and your voice just so beautiful and powerful. I love that one chant, that one song, "Diana is for Autumn." I listened to it a couple times, and it was just like, oh, I know this would be so good in the background of a Mabon ritual or some kind of a, new moon ritual. I love it. Can you talk a little bit about songs and chants on this album kind of work with ritual or how people can integrate it with a ritual?
Mm. Well, yes, and that's exactly how they are designed. That's exactly how all of these chants or song spells, I call them, that's
Yeah.
exactly how they're supposed to be used, is as part of a ritual, whether that's a personal ritual that someone's doing at home or a group ritual. So some of them are, could be an opening chant, some of them could be a closing chant. Many of them could be something that is like an invocation too. Um, Whether it was, like you said, the Mabon Queen, if it was Autumn Equinox Mabon, or my Artemis Diana, Chad, that if you're trying to invoke the goddess Artemis, right? Like
Hmm.
that would be how you would integrate it, and you could
Oh, okay.
sing it yourself, or you could play the recording and sing along. And I also have lyric sheets actually available on my website because I found a lot of people started emailing me and say, I want to teach this to my circle, or I'm going to bring this to my
Yeah.
coven. And so I'm so blessed to get these, to know that these, and I offer these free. The lyric sheets are free through my website, that so that people, I know people are bringing them to their covens or to their singing groups and singing them all over the world. It's a very
Oh,
very blessed. I feel very blessed.
yeah. Do you think that you might publish a songbook at some point?
You know what? That's definitely in the realm of possibility. Certainly, I guess as I get to a certain volume of chants and songs.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I look forward to that. I am always on the lookout for some chants that I can work within my circle and bring to the community that I'm in. And I forgot to ask you if was there anybody who influenced you on your spiritual, magical, musical path? Do you have any mentors that you might want to mention?
Oh, there's been so many, right? And at different times of on my path, or inspiring me and supporting me in different ways. But I think I'll name my recent most influential mentors have been Heather Houston, who is an incredible song leader and composer and singer out of California. And then my mentor Elaine Kalila of Priestess Presence, who I've been training with for many, many years in archetypal work. So yes, yeah, there's so many that I've learned from, and even books that I've read, even people that I'll never meet, but that have, inspired me or influenced me. Yeah, there's such richness out there.
Hmm. And how do you see your role as sacred song priestess evolving?
Mm. More in person again,
Yeah.
and not necessarily a moving away from online, but not solely being online. That's where I really feel myself being called. That especially in 2025, I've really felt things shift across just social media platforms. I'm not feeling the same kind of different spark. And then I keep on getting the nudge that in person and local events again. And it's been interesting because I live in a small rural area, right? Like it's
Oh,
it's
uh-huh.
not like okay, I I'm excited that even next week I'm offering a new moon sound bath ceremony, and I haven't done anything like that before live. I've only done it on Zoom, and so I'm always challenging myself and taking myself to new edges, and that's where I'm being called is back to do more in
Yeah.
person.
Oh, good. Yeah. There's something about sound and singing with a group in person that feels energetically different
Hmm.
than online.
Hmm.
How do your sacred song rituals empower women? I know it's open to all genders, but for women especially, how do you feel like your rituals empower them?
I would say that the way I approach your rituals and music or just it empowers the divine feminine. It empowers the feminine principle
Hmm.
within anyone. And so if if you are a woman, then you are bringing that energy forward. And maybe that's for balancing. And if
Yeah.
it's for a man, again, bringing that, empowering the feminine within. And really, the vision of EarthSong Temple and really the motivating force behind my just what I do and how I live my life is bringing the feminine back into balance with the sacred masculine. And that's why we do need to empower the sacred feminine, empower the feminine. It's not to overpower, but it's just to bring her back into
Hmm.
balance.
Yes, and awaken the goddess within us.
Exactly.
Very, very important. And for balance, for healing, and for celebrating the goddess.
Yes. And there's definitely still value in that. And there's definitely still value of women only spaces. There's definitely still value in all of that. And I just got to a point where I realized that what I was offering and with the tree of life truly as a symbol guiding me with EarthSong Temple was that this was for all, and this is to open up and to really heal that balance,
Yeah.
bring that balance,
Yes.
how and still empowering the feminine principle. But I think the wheel of the year also as a spiritual practice um, really supports a balanced view with
Hmm.
both the god and the goddess.
Yeah, definitely. So before we start running out of time, do you
Mhm.
have any upcoming plans for the future, such as new albums, performances, concerts, events, classes, workshops, etc.?
Mm. Well, yeah, 2026, like I said, I am feeling called more into my community, doing more local events, and I have also been invited to present at the Glastonbury Goddess Conference.
Oh, yay.
Yes, so I am very excited that I will be there in the summer, and I'm going to be presenting a workshop, and they've also given me a performance spot. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wonderful.
from British
Yeah.
Columbia to England, I'm quite excited to see what 2026 has in store.
Yay. Yeah, Marian Brigantia's been on my show, and she's going to be on my show again in February to talk about Goddess Bridget.
Yes.
And what is your website and social media so that listeners can find out more about you and EarthSong Temple and all your sacred singing and
Hmm.
magical offerings?
Thank you. Yes, it's my name. So Flora Ware, WARE.ca, because I am in Canada. And then on Instagram, it's Flora underscore Ware. And that's where you can find me. And my music is available on all major digital music platforms and Spotify and also Bandcamp. But really check out my website, floraware.ca, for more about me and my music and EarthSong Temple.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm going to set aside just a few minutes here for Flora to give us a goddess chant. So take it away, Flora.
This is center of the Pentacle, and it is an invocation to the elements, and, and it is so it's an opening chant and an invocation chant. I stand in the center of the Pentacle, Earth, air, fire, water, aether. I stand in the center of the pentacle. Earth, air, fire, water, love. I stand in the center of the pentacle. Earth, air, fire, water, aether. I stand in the center of the pentacle. Earth, air, fire, water, love. We stand in the center of the pentacle. Earth, air, fire, water, aether. We stand in the center of the pentacle. Earth, air, fire, water, love. Earth, air, fire, water, love. Earth, air, fire, water, love.
I love it. Beautiful. Your voice is just outstanding. I just love hearing it. And thank you so much for being on the show today and for all your priestessing and sacred singing and teaching us that our voices are medicine for healing and transformation and celebrating the goddess within. So thank you so much again for being on the show, Flora.
Thank you, Bridget. Blessed, blessed be.
Blessed be. And thanks to all our listeners for joining us today. And as the wheel of the year turns, we will be back in another week or two. So thank you again. Blessed be. And I'm signing off now. Bye bye. All right. Until next time. Bye bye.